Welcome to mediamelanie TV. Today I'm back to talk about Talamasca, The Secret Order, a brand new TV series coming to AMC with a 2-episode premiere on October 26th and 6 episodes planned in total. Now, this is from the Anne Rice Immortal Universe. However, Talamasca actually is not a standalone book, but rather it focuses on different characters and stories from Vampire Chronicles and Lives of the Mayfair Witches. I have not read any of the books. However, I am a big fan of the TV series Interview with the Vampire. Season 1, probably my favorite. Season 2 was also great. And Season 3 will be returning in 2026. I'll get a little bit more into that later. The story focuses on Guy Anatole, and he is joining this clandestine secret order who is tasked with keeping an eye on all the immortal beings such as witches, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, and the like. And in the process, he is discovering that his family actually has some secret ties to this supernatural world. Now, Guy also is not a character in any of the books. However, there will definitely be some characters introduced here that we are familiar with from some of the other shows. In terms of the vibe of the show, it is a police procedural vampire thriller with spy vibes, secret, shadowy cat and mouse chases, and Guy himself is actually a skeptic. He's approached by a mysterious woman named Helen. They need to replace one of the agents, and apparently Guy has been groomed by this organization his whole life, unbeknownst to him. He checks a lot of the boxes they're looking for. He has this clairvoyant ability, but he is very skeptical when it does come to all of these supernatural beings. So he develops, I guess, this love-hate relationship with the organization, but it also seems like he's compelled to be a part of it, and really they have not given him much of a choice. We can gear up for Guy's gnarly journey as he doesn't really have a reality of his own and apparently nothing to lose at all. One of their key phrases is, "We watch and we're always there," but apparently they don't get involved with these different beings. It's more just to record, report, and study them. However, some important information goes missing from the London Mother House, so they're tasked with trying to get it back before somebody else uses it for nefarious purposes. The organization is basically compared to the CIA or MI5. It's a hard international job that does operate within the shadows, and it has this feeling of ignorance is bliss, this is better for the greater good, but people like the regular citizens of the world don't actually need to know about it because it's better that they don't. Knowledge is power is a big central theme here as well. All of this information that they've been garnering for years from all of these immortals is obviously very important, and if it does fall into the wrong hands, who knows what could go wrong. Guy is not supposed to trust the Talamasca. They are putting him in danger by getting him involved with it. And at some point, it seems that he takes things into his own hands. And there is this component that Talamasca is not being truthful with him. They're lying about something, which creates this big danger that is going to put his life at risk. One of my favorite things about this series is there's going to be crossovers. First and foremost, Daniel Malloy, played by Eric Bogosian. In one of Daniel Malloy's novels from Interview with the Vampire, Guy's mother is written about on page 227, but Daniel lets Guy know that he actually did not write that page, that Talamasca did. So what are the ties to Daniel's mother? So what exactly are these secretive ties to Guy's mother? How does it tie into Talamasca? Apparently she died when Guy was younger and was an addict, but if I'm guessing, there's probably a lot more to that story, and who knows? I mean, maybe she's alive. Before I get more into this preview of Talamasca, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love covering dark shows like this one. Right now, I'm finishing up coverage of Only Murders in the Building, Task on HBO, and Gen V on Prime Video. Coming up at the end of the month, obviously, I'm going to be covering Talamasca with weekly reviews, but also It Welcome to Derry, which I'm very excited for. And then come November, Maxton Hall for all of you teen drama fans out there. And then Fallout in December, plus any other shows that end up getting announced between now and then. So if there are any other shows you would like to see me cover, definitely let me know down in the comments. And just a quick note, I am working very hard to get to the 10,000 subscriber mark before the end of the year, and I just appreciate everybody who watches along with me. My ultimate goal is to become a full-time TV content creator, so every time you join me here, it just helps me get one step closer. So thank you for that. Back into Talamasca. Let's talk about the cast. Nicholas Denton plays Guy Anatole. You may know him from Glitch or Dangerous Liaisons. Elizabeth McGovern plays Helen, who's recruiting Guy into Talamasca. She's from Downton Abbey. William Fichtner from The Dark Knight stars. Maisie Richardson Sellers, who you may know from Nine Perfect Strangers. Celine Buckins from Show Trial. And as I mentioned, Eric Bogosian, who of course was in Interview with the Vampire seasons 1 and 2. If you're a fan of the Wes Anderson universe like I am, although I guess some more than others, Jason Schwartzman is also going to appear in Talamasca, and he plays the vampire Burton. I am very excited to see what he brings to the table. Something I love about TV shows is when they incorporate more viewer involvement. Dark on Netflix, for instance, they had this companion website with a family tree, which was actually really necessary for that show. But there is a website that you can go to that has this sort of behind the scenes surveillance and a feel of the agents of the Talamasca. I'm going to put that down below, but the website is www.talamas.ca. So definitely go check that out. It definitely adds a little bit of viewer involvement and it feels really fun. So that is something that I will be continuing to check out throughout the season. In terms of other crossovers from the Anne Rice universe, at New York Comic Con, Screen Rant interviewed some of the creators and cast, and they said there are going to be more crossovers from Interview with the Vampire and Mayfair Witches than you may expect, but they're going to do it in a way that feels authentic and strategic, not just like forcing all these characters in for the sake of involving them. And apparently, this is going to be across all 3 shows, so once Interview with the Vampire does come back, I look forward to seeing whoever here from Talamasca ends up entering that world as well. Somebody they did confirm that will be in the Talamasca that we also met in season 2 of Interview with the Vampire is Raglan James, who is a member of Talamasca. We didn't really learn a lot about him in Interview with the Vampire, but we should be getting more context on that character here. And as I mentioned, season 3 of Interview with the Vampire is set to premiere in April of 2026. This one is going to focus on the vampire Lestat. He forms a rock band and goes on tour, so we should learn a lot more about his story as well. I've got to say, for me, Interview with the Vampire season 1 is probably my favorite. I did also enjoy season 2, but Lestat isn't exactly my favorite character, so I'm curious if this one will draw me in as much as the first 2 seasons did. And I should also note, if you don't have AMC, you can catch Interview with the Vampire seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix now. You're welcome. I may even start watching Mayfair Witches. We will see. But overall, Talamasca: The Secret Order does focus on this clandestine international spy organization. They keep track of all of these immortal beings, and I love this kind of thing. I love ghosts, I love werewolves, vampires, all of the above, and I'm hoping that this one will resonate as much as Interview with the Vampire season 1 did for me. That wasn't a show I actually even expected to like. I mean, the movie was okay. Like I said, I didn't read the books, but Jacob Anderson just blew me away. They did recast the role of Claudia in season 2, but I think both actresses did a really good job there as well. And now that we're getting close to the premiere of Talamasca on October 26th, there are teaser trailers, teasers, first looks, and a full official trailer on YouTube. The content is mostly everything I've talked about here, and it just gives this very furtive, secret, underground vibe. And for me, combining the police element with the spy, with the supernatural, I'm hoping this is really going to land as quite the triple threat. Do you plan on watching? And I'm also curious to know how many of you have read the books, watched Interview with the Vampire or Mayfair Witches, and also let me know, for people who have watched Mayfair, is it worth my time? Will it compare to Interview with the Vampire? I think I actually need to get on it, because if there are going to be these crossovers, I think it will be a more meaningful watch if I'm able to sort of connect those dots among all of the series. So how is skeptic Guy Anatole going to deal with joining this agency, having his life put in danger? And I'd imagine, because he is a skeptic, he's probably going to start believing a little bit more as things go on. But also my question is, how does he not believe in that if he's a clairvoyant? Because that's a whole supernatural thing too. So to believe in one and affirm it by actually having that special power, it's weird to me that he doesn't believe in the others. But I mean, hey, werewolves, witches, all of that, it does sound little bit of a step above of being a clairvoyant. And just to recap, this will premiere with the first 2 episodes out of 6 on October 26th on AMC, and then the remaining 4 will air weekly. The highlight for me, though, is definitely going to be Daniel Malloy coming back. He was such a prominent character in season 2 of Interview, and season 1 for that matter, but I love his character. I think Eric Bogosian is incredibly talented, and I just can't wait to see him return. So like I said, please do go ahead, like this video, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my weekly Talamasca coverage, and I will be back soon with a preview for the Vampire Lestat. I also just dropped one on It Welcome to Derry, so if that is in your genre, it is spooky season after all, definitely check that out. And don't miss my coverage for that either. I'm all about the darkness and fully ready to dive into this secret order. So thanks for tuning in with me as I talk TV, one of my favorite things to talk about, and I will be back again soon. Media Melanie, clicking off.